All good, all good. Really excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, Sujit, I was just introducing you to all our viewers as well. So I'll just quickly introduce the series as well. Today is the first ever In the Dugout episode for Dr. Vaidya's. We're really excited to have Sujit be our first ever guest. It's an honor for us to have him go live with us. So, guys, we'll be doing these lives every week with cricketers. So definitely do tune in and also check out the Maha Immunity Premier League contest running on the Dr. Vaidya's page. There are loads of prizes to be won every single day, and also at the end of it, the Maha prizes as well, which include an iPhone, Bose headphones, a smart TV, and more. So definitely check that out on the Dr. Vaidya's page. So great, Sujit. I've given our viewers a quick introduction about you, and of course, everyone's really excited. But maybe you want to just talk a little bit about what you're currently doing as well, and then we can take it from there.
Currently, because of the entire pandemic, we are all confined to our houses. But at the end of the day, you can't really do anything about it. You've got to be, as a professional cricketer, you've got to be ready for, when the situation arises. You got to keep fit. You got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your health. Not only fight, the pandemic, but also, cricket can start anytime. So
Correct.
when it does start, you don't want to be underprepared, or you don't want to start then and be left out. So I've currently been focusing all my efforts on keeping fit, eating right, training harder, just increasing because I've got all the time now. I'm not traveling a lot. I'm not playing any matches as such. So I'm at home. I've got all the time to spend with my family and keep myself fit. So just utilizing that time to learn new things, get better at where I want to be in the coming years, and just they focus on the goal and just keep chasing it.
Correct. I can imagine it's difficult time for us all, but especially for athletes, it's a big lifestyle change as well. And I
Definitely.
know you guys have to stay fit, of course, like you said, rightfully it can start at any time. But more than
Yeah,
that, you're probably very used to playing games very often, or at least traveling a lot for the matches as well. So it's a
definitely, definitely.
big switch, but I'm sure it's nice to be at home with the family as well.
Yeah, definitely it is. But mentally, it's something totally different.
Yeah,
As you said, it's really challenging for us to stay at home because we're so used to traveling, you're so used to being on the field, and that being not possible since I think March.
yeah.
It does play a lot on you mentally. But at the end of the day, this is something that we all have to fight, and everybody knows the situation out there. There's a bigger situation out there, so might as well just wait and keep your, keep the process going on.
100%. Well said. So, Sujit, before we really get into it, I would love to hear from you a little bit about, your own journey, how you got into cricket. So, of course, growing up in India, all of us play cricket. I played cricket every chance I got, building, school, wherever it would be. But, obviously, to achieve what you have is what a lot of people dream of, but very few are able to achieve. So, we'd just love to hear a little bit more about your journey, how you sort of went through the levels when you started playing, all of that.
Definitely. So basically, cricket runs in my family. My father's played for India. He's played Test cricket and ODI cricket for India, and he's represented Mumbai in the Ranji team for over 20 plus years.
Wow.
He's been traveling around the world during his cricketing days. And my elder brother also used to play a lot of active cricket back then. He's played for Mumbai in the under 22 team. Plus, my cousins were a part of cricket. My uncles were, into cricket. So cricket was, the main topic in our family, and that's how I started young. I started hearing about these things, and I started learning about cricket. Very young. But I was, as you say, I was a typical teenager. I never took things really seriously because cricket at that point was something that did not interest me. I had, other friends such as junk food
Yeah.
and, comics and video games. These were my friends when I was growing up. So I never really gave it a thought. But I actually picked up, serious professional cricket when I turned 20. Once I graduated, I had to do something about, my life. So I met this fantastic individual called Vinod Raghavan. I was playing a game against him, And he offered me an opportunity to come and play, for his team back then, which is called Dena Bank. It's in the Time Shield, which is a corporate tournament in India,
Hmm.
and we were in the B divisions back then. And I was not really serious about it, but I was like, you know what, somebody's offered me a contract. It's something new, it's something different. Let's give it a shot. And after that, and besides, if I didn't take up cricket, I had to study. My parents, everybody in the family would have expected me to study more. So, to avoid that, I started playing little cricket, and the first two games that I played in the Time Shield, I got hundreds in both the games. I don't know if it was
Wow.
luck or what it was, but that definitely changed everything for me. That's how the entire process started. That's how I got drafted into the under 22 team for Mumbai. And there was another selection game, the following year, where the MCA Colts were playing against the Andhra Ranji team. And, the entire team of Reliance, Mumbai Indians, and, the Mumbai selectors were sitting and watching the game because it was a highly intense game at BKC. And I was fortunate enough to get another 100 over there. And that's how the entire career changed. I started climbing ladders slowly, steadily. I did climb ladders, and that's how the entire thinking and the entire process changed when I got into the Reliance setup, the entire Reliance One corporate setup, because they were the ones who handle the Mumbai Indians. They are the ones who really work hard behind the players, and they're the ones who scout for players, and that's how the entire journey starts. And that's how it all began. I went into the system, got into the system. I started speaking to people who I've only seen on television. People like Faris Mamre, Kiran More. These are all legends in their own fields, and getting to interact with them, understanding what cricket is actually all about. It's not just your skills, but there are a lot of other factors that go, when you want to become a professional sportsman. So understanding those things, and I think these guys helped me a lot. These guys helped me, understand the sport a little better, understand the various aspects that are related to the sport a little better, and that's how the journey, started. To be honest.
No, I think, one of the things you said really stood out, and it's true for most athletes. It's a lot of hard work, but at the end of the day, it's that one opportunity. If you can grab the opportunities that you get, they're very often career defining or career changing. And it's great that you were able to do that. Like you were mentioning right now, there's obviously a lot more to being a cricketer than just like national born talent or even just working on your cricketing skills. There's obviously your diet, exercise, sacrifices in terms of social life. A lot of the things you mentioned about yourself growing up in terms of
Definitely.
junk food, in terms of video games, probably
Yeah,
not able to do that as much anymore.
definitely.
Just want to hear a bit more about your own journey with, as an athlete, what the life is usually like. Of course, in lockdown as well right now, you said you're making sure you're staying fit, eating healthy. It's a lot of sacrifices. So would love to hear a bit more about that as well.
Definitely. See, when you were growing up, when I was growing up back in 2008, 2009, cricket was not that technically sound. It was more a skill-based game. When you talk about Indian cricket, internal
Yeah.
domestic cricket, the infrastructure in India was not really focusing on fitness and nutrition, and it was more of skill-based. Everybody, fitness was not a criteria back then. But so when I was growing up, I was obviously unaware about these situations. But I think from 2014, 2015, things really picked up in India. When you talk about fitness, when you talk about nutrition, now today's generation, kids these days, they're already, when they step out of the under 19 circuit, they're already well versed with what the various types of training that is there. The batsmen are only focusing on batsman specific training. The bowlers are focusing on power drills and bowler specific trainings. Everybody has a little knowledge about nutrition at a very young age.
Yeah.
When we were under 19, under 20, under 22, we were only focusing on skills. The coaching techniques were different. The thinking of the coaches were different. If you compare it to today, the technology, when you talk about all the cameras and all the software programs that we have these days, all the video analysts, the way they help players, this started after 2012, 2014 in India. So yeah, definitely, as I picked it up, in 2014. That's when the actual weight loss and the fitness journey started. Yes, obviously sacrifices. A lot of sacrifices had to be made because my entire thinking, as I was growing up, my entire ideology of food, of consumption of food, had to be
Yeah.
changed. And sacrificing something that you've been so addicted to over 20 plus years is a little difficult. But at the end of the day, I had to do it because not because I was forced into doing it, but the situation demanded. If I knew I wanted to climb the ladder and play, I want to play for India, and if I want to play for India, I have to compete with the athletes out there. And if I have to compete with the athletes out there, I have to, follow certain guidelines, follow certain rules and regulations that are in there, not just on the field, but off the field as well. And I think every sportsman that wants to do that, every sportsman that wants to climb the ladder and, get into the IPL or, play Ranji Trophy for their particular state or, eventually go and play for India, has to follow certain guidelines.
No, definitely. I think, you rightfully pointed out that discipline is the most important, whether that comes to nutrition, whether it's fitness, whatever that may be, even your regular skill practice. It's important to just stay disciplined for any sports person. I think that sort of applies throughout all fields of life. Discipline does tend to become
Definitely.
the most important thing.
Definitely.
Moving into the IPL, of course, the IPL is on right now. And of course, you've also played, you represented Mumbai as well as Delhi in the IPL previously as well. Would love to hear
Yeah.
more about your journey into the IPL, how that came about, and of course, what you think in terms of the value of the IPL. What does it really mean? For a lot of younger players as well, for a lot of people who've grown up only playing domestic cricket, the opportunity to train with some of the best players in the world from all around the world as well. How much of value do you think does that brings to just the
Yeah,
entire
definitely.
domestic
The
setup?
IPL today has become the game changer, for any sportsman. As I said, I was playing that match at BKC, and the people from Reliance and Mumbai Indians were there. And after that game, I got drafted into the Reliance One team. And after a few more performances, I was then offered a contract with the Mumbai Indians. So, right from not playing cricket at the age of 18, 19 to suddenly being drafted into the Mumbai Indians team at 22, that was a quick journey for me. For me to understand, the people that you've been watching on television, the people that you've heard about, dominating world cricket, scoring tens and thousands of runs at all levels of international cricket. You suddenly go and interact with them. You suddenly see them in front of you, wearing the same clothes and sharing the same dressing room with them. I was totally awestruck. Initially in the initial days, my interactions with everybody, all the players that were part of Mumbai Indians, really helped me a lot. It not only taught me how to become a better cricketer, but it also taught me how to become a better individual when it comes to any sport, and when it comes to life. That feeling is something that I cannot describe as much, but I learned a lot in these 3 years that I was in the IPL, a part of the IPL setup. It really changed me as a person. I interacted with almost everybody on and off the field, and the way they prepare for the game. You come to know certain things. You come to know a lot of things that are not just taught to you by our coaches, but you come to know how various players, because coaching facilities in other countries may be different. The setup in every country is different, so you have no idea, how people react, how players are. But when you in the IPL gives you a great opportunity to interact with players from different regions of India, players from different countries. Whether he's somebody who's at a domestic level or somebody at an international level, or he's somebody as big as a legend. You come to know, you see them, you watch them, you understand how they prepare for a game. And these are the things that as a young cricketer I used to grasp. I used to always be there with my notebook, and there are smaller things that I really focus on, and I used to really love a lot of things about certain players. I used to really pick that up, and till date I do follow them, and these interactions that I had with some of the legends of the game, when they talk good about you, it takes you to a different level. It takes your confidence to a different level altogether. And then you're not worried about the pressure that comes when you're facing bowlers, when you're on the field, because that confidence itself, takes you to a different level. Obviously, you always trust your skills. You always, you're there for a reason. There is something that the franchisees have thought that you're good at, and that is why you're over there. But the nerves, the edginess, the entire pressure of being in such a big stadium in front of 20, 30,000 people, uh, you know that is when your seniors talk to you about and give you that confidence, it automatically takes care of all the nerves.
You're correct. I can imagine, it's probably like you're saying, an undescribable feeling. We're having a lot of comments
Definitely.
coming here praising you as a cricketer, uh, King of Mumbai T20, the
I think
power
I'm really
hitter,
lucky.
bowling master. No, no, of
Yeah,
course,
T20
there's,
Mumbai has actually changed. Now, to be honest, T20 Mumbai, the entire T20 league in Mumbai has changed, has done wonders for me, to be honest. We'll get to that later. But I'll definitely owe all my comeback, definitely owe my entire comeback and, the way I am today to T20 Mumbai.
No, great. I definitely want to hear more about that. But before we go any further, we have a quick question here. So the
Yeah.
question is, how have you kept yourself so positive and motivated every year? And I think, that is it's a great question for athletes. It's one I always wonder myself. It's once you've achieved so much, once you've sort of been playing regularly for so many years, how do you keep that motivation going?
So, to be very honest, I've had so many great seasons for at the local level in Mumbai, but unfortunately, those seasons have not reaped me benefits when it comes to graduating or climbing the ladder. At one point, yes, definitely, I was really down and out at the age of 26, 27. That's when I thought that I think I should do something else, because even after repetitive good performances, and just not one or two performances, just good seasons, which is a 6 month, 6, 8 month period. Even after having great seasons, repetitive seasons, I wasn't being rewarded for the hard work and the performances that I've been doing. So it's a human tendency where you actually sit back and you think about, are you doing it right? If is this the right thing for you to do, or should you do something else and probably excel at that, learn something new, or probably get into some different thing, which actually gives you those kind of benefits or appreciation. But and I did that at 26, at 27. I was kind of juggling between two different professions, cricket being one, and digital advertising being second. I was happy with that. I was happy with that. Things were smooth, and that's when T20 Mumbai was introduced in 2018, and I was in 2017. Sorry, and that's when things really changed. And the first year, if I may, the first year. I thought I was not even going to be selected. I'm being totally honest. I thought I was going to go unsold because I was done with auctions. Because in the IPL, if you see, I was excluded from teams without even being given an opportunity. It's not that I got opportunities and I didn't do well and I would then was casted out of the system. So I was done with
Correct.
auctions. I was never really a fan of auctions because of the impact that the IPL auctions had created on my mind, and it obviously pulls you down. When you go unsold, or when you don't really get something that you deserve, it obviously mentally it pulls you down. But T20 Mumbai, totally changed my thinking. I did well in the first season. I was, one of the top scorers in the league, and from there, my entire thinking changed, and I had to sit down. I'm fortunate enough that I have a great family. My wife, my parents, I have a great family that are very supportive. At the age of 28, 29, I had to have a serious discussion with them. I just wanted to let my heart out because as you said, trying to stay positive, it's easier said than done. But at the end of the day, there are certain things that only you can control. But there are certain things that you cannot control, and getting selected, or reaping benefits is something that is totally out of your hand. So the reason I have become very positive about every aspect in life is because of the situations and the things that I have faced in the last 5 to 6 years of playing professional cricket, whether it's domestically or whether it's locally. Because you play so much cricket, you meet so many people, and I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things about me, my weight, the way I am as a person. There are a lot of things that have been spoken about me, and the only way to answer these things is by performing and staying positive. Uh, that is a decision that I took a couple of years ago, and today is where I am. I am where I am, and I'm really happy about that.
No, it's very inspiring, and I think a lot of things you said stand out a lot, especially in terms of not being able to control the outcome.
Yeah.
But it is tough. I think whether it's sports, whether it's anything, when you're performing, but not getting the right opportunities, it is a difficult time, and it's great. Of course, I think the fact that you were able to stay positive, the fact that you were able to stay going, more importantly, and of course, there is a lot of success coming out of that now. So we have a question from Atif Sheikh over here, which is in line with that as well. What was the toughest challenge that you've ever faced?
The toughest challenge was, number one, I would say, was leaving cricket, or probably diverting my attention from cricket, from being 100, giving cricket 100% and doing something else that I have to do. The second challenge that I faced in my life is, changing the way I think. Changing the way I think, whether it comes to food, whether it comes to my cricket, whether it comes to the way things are around me. Changing my process has been really difficult for me. Because as I said, earlier I was really dependent on other people who for positivity. I was dependent on other people for everything. I was really dependent on other people, and that actually is not good. The only way to fight it out, the only way to change yourself is when you actually feel that you want to change, and the moment you start thinking positive, everything around you changes, and that is the entire switch. The entire switch that happened is I just took a decision overnight. To be honest, coming back to cricket, leaving everything aside and coming back to cricket was a decision that I made overnight. And I was well supported with my from my family, my elder brother, my mom, my dad, my bhabhi, and my wife. And that's how it all started again. And today, what you see, and today who I am, is a totally different person than what I was, 2, 3 years ago.
We have a lot of questions coming in. So one from Dheeraj. How was the moment when you came back in the T20 seniors Mumbai team?
Yeah, this is something that has been one of my goals. As I said, there was an overnight switch in my thinking. There's an overnight decision that was made that I don't want to do this. I want to do something that I'm passionate about. I want to do something that I really love. And I have played to a T20 back in 2014. And if you see the stats over there, I had done nothing wrong to be dropped from the 2015 side, but unfortunately, as I said, outcome is something that I cannot think. It's not in my hand. There are a lot of other factors that are in play over there. So when I made that decision, there were two things that I wanted to really accomplish. One was getting back into the Mumbai T20 team, because I know that I'm good enough to play over there and do well over there, because the kind of hard work that I put in, the kind of process that I follow, and the ability that I have, and that a lot of people have told me that I have. You must have seen that in the Mumbai T20 league, but domestic cricket is a level up. So that was one goal. I wouldn't say a goal as such, but that was one thing. What do you say, a zid that I had. That was one thing that I really wanted to accomplish,
Mhm.
and obviously do well was a part of that. And there's another goal that I have, and which is a comeback in the IPL, and I'll make sure that I do it.
No, and really look forward to seeing you back there as well. There are a couple
Definitely.
more questions, and I'm just going to club them a little together. So, how important, like you spoke a lot about your family, your support system as well around you, but even on the field, right? The people you play with, your coaches, your mentors, um,
Definitely.
especially if, them believing in you when you may not believe in yourself as well. How important is that whole network? Um,
Definitely. I was really happy and really lucky that I play for the Cricket Club of India, and 5 years down the line, I was really happy and lucky that there was this fantastic individual called Paul Valthati who joined the club. He joined the club as a senior cricketer. I've always watched him play. We were from the same school, but from different
Right.
batches, and everybody in school used to talk about Paul Valthati, and everybody in Mumbai circuit. And then I saw him. I met him in the IPL. I saw him during the IPL when he got that 100 in the IPL. He had moved to CCI, and that's when my skill, my batting level, my batting skill level, my mentality changed towards how do you tackle certain situations, how do you tackle certain bowlers, how do you play certain deliveries. That is the process, and that is the thinking that he brought into me. He was my captain for the last 5 years, and I was fortunate enough to, he's opened up an academy right close to my house. So I'm fortunate enough to go there whenever, there's time, whenever, I just know he's like my elder brother, and whenever I give him a call, he's always available for me. And that is something that I really like about him, and that is something that I consider myself lucky. And him believing
No,
in
definitely.
me,
It's, yeah.
like he was already someone who had gotten a IPL 100. He's played and he's seen so many players worldwide, but him believing in me is something that I think I'm fortunate enough.
No, definitely. I can imagine how important it is to have someone like that believe in you as well. So we have one more question. I think we have one more time for one more question before we proceed with the session. Um, so Dheeraj
Uh-huh.
wants to know something about the CCI cricketers and the environment.
It's a young team. It's a young team. Yes, obviously, CCI has always had stalwarts of Mumbai and Indian cricket playing as their team. Back in 2010 when I had just joined them, they had the likes of Sahil Kukreja,
Hmm.
Swapnil Hazare, Vinayak Samant. These guys were all regulars in the Mumbai Ranji team. Ajit Agarkar used to come and play whenever he had time. There were so many legends, and there were so many senior cricketers you've been just watching and hearing about them, and probably just reading about them. And when you entered that situation, when you entered that dressing room, it was totally different. Back 10 years down the line, there's been a lot of changes in the CCI team. A lot of youngsters have come up now. There are a lot of young cricketers who have joined the team, who with really high potential. We were at the rebuilding stage, for the last 2 3 years, but now, this year I think the team that we have has been is unbelievable, and this team is something that I really wanted. As a captain, I would love to lead such a team, and right from having experienced players in your team like Paul and Vineet, and also having youngsters, new youngsters being drafted into your side. I always The environment is totally different. The atmosphere, especially the facilities that CCI provides us. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we could not use those kind of facilities. But you're never away from cricket when you're at CCI, whether it's raining outside or it's not. CCI always helps you, and the environment is totally crazy. We've got a lot of pranksters in the team, including myself, and it's really fun. I can't wait to get back in the field.
No, I can imagine. Excited to see you back on the field as well. Sujit, I just want to ask you before we wrap up, this year's IPL, right? Of course, like we've mentioned, because of the pandemic, unable to take place in India, and for a lot of cricketers, they're probably their first time playing in the UAE as well, and more importantly, without fans. A major part of the IPL is just the crowds. It's I go for the games regularly when they're
Definitely,
in Bombay, and just being in the crowd, just being out
definitely.
there is something else. To the extent where they've had to replicate it with playing the crowd noises. But I just want
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
know from you what sort of difference does having that crowd make? How do you think people are going to be able to adapt to that as well? This
See,
completely new sort of form of cricket.
definitely. Definitely, it's totally different, and it's going to be, something that is, really challenging, because fans are something that makes franchisees. Fans are something that makes, cricketers, to be honest. Having their absence on the field will definitely have an impact, because, the way, even I've seen so many games, the way they cheer the players and the way, they talk about players, it automatically gives you a sense of confidence. You as a player, you automatically, start feeling very positive, and the pressure that is there, the nerves that are there when you enter the field, it automatically reduces because of the love that you receive from all the fans out there in the stadium cheering and chanting your name. It's going to be difficult, especially number one being that everybody, most of the players are playing after a long gap of 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's because how much ever you practice in the nets, how much ever match simulations or practice matches you play, IPL and that level of cricket is a totally ball game, a different ball game altogether. So it's going to be a little difficult for them to adapt, initially. But I'm sure these everybody in the IPL is they're all professional sportsmen, and they will adapt and bring their A game to the table really soon. So yeah, definitely they are going to miss the the fans. Empty stadiums looks a little different when you talk about the IPL, because whenever you've seen the IPL, everybody, not only the stadiums, but there are people waiting outside also. All your
Yeah.
pubs, your bars, your restaurants, your lounges. Everything is filled with crowds chanting and cheering. You've got these IPL fan zones, etc., where you see these people really involved with the team and the players, and they're so passionate about it that automatically gives you a different sense of confidence. But yeah, it's going to be really difficult.
No. Well, any predictions?
I was really surprised to see RCB last night. I've always been a Mumbai Indians fan. I always love Mumbai Indians, and I would love to have them, crown champions for the fifth time. But I was really surprised with RCB because there was one element that was missing all these years, which is their death over bowling, and
Hmm.
that is something that I think they've really, all credit to the think tank of the RCB team. And I feel RCB is going to be the underdogs. They are going to be the surprise element this year. But I would really love Mumbai Indians to win.
Great. Yeah, I don't think you can ever count out RCB. Count out RCB, of course. A team with Kohli, AB, and all these
Definitely,
guys
definitely.
obviously have a great
Especially
chance
the new
every
guys,
year. Yeah,
when you talk about the new guys, Dev that particle at the top, he's been in
correct.
sublime form, for an entire season. And Navdeep Saini is one of the fastest bowlers in India at present. And Dubai wickets, Abu Dhabi wickets are a little on the slower side, so
Hmm.
it's not going to be easy to hit them out of the park.
Yeah, really excited for the rest of the season as well. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of exciting
Definitely,
games. I think 3 days in, we're already
definitely.
we've seen pretty much everything, including the Super Over.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah, thank you so much, Sujit, for doing this. As I'm sure you can see, a lot of great comments coming in about the session as well. It was truly inspiring, and it's an honor to have you here with us.
thank you so
And of
much.
course,
Thank
we
you so
can't
much.
can't wait to see you back on the field, doing what you love as well. Hopefully, that'll be soon, and hopefully, we'll all be able to watch
Definitely,
you soon as well. Guys, before
definitely.
you leave, do check out the Dr. Vaidya's Maha Immunity Premier League contest. We have a predict and win question on our page every single match. Sometimes, twice a day. If there are two games, you can win prizes from Dr. Vaidya's and other brands every single day and participate regularly. And you can be eligible to win the Maha prizes as well, which include a phone, a TV, headphones, and lots more. So do check it out. And for those who joined in late, I highly recommend watching this session, this first In the Dugout episode with Sujit. Later, we're going to be saving it on the Dr. Vaidya's IGTV. So do check it out. A lot of great insights from Sujit as well. So thank you so much for that. Really
Thank you.
excited to watch you back on the field soon. Best of luck with
Thank you so
everything.
much. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi guys, my name is Arjun Vaidya and I'm the CEO of Dr. Vaidya's. I hope you like what you heard. If you want more content on health and Ayurveda in the 21st century, please click the subscribe icon. We've got a lot more coming for you.